Republican candidate for U.S. Congress in Maryland's 3rd District, a retired U.S. Air Force Lieutenant Colonel. He served nearly 21 years.
A little louder.
Louder?
Yeah.
I don't have a mic. Okay. He served 21 years as an active duty, including assignment to the Pentagon on September 11th, 2001. His career included deployment to Iraq, Afghanistan, Ukraine, with missions across 22 countries and 43 states. After the military service, Berney worked in banking, then returned to the Department of Defense as a civil servant, helping stand up U.S. Cyber Command's, later serving as NORAD and U.S. Northern Command's senior technical advisor to Fort Meade before retiring from DOD. He supported, I don't know why I'm not using my glasses. He supported the refugee settlement as the border defense efforts as senior advisor to DHS. Married for over 37 years, Berney is a father, grandfather, longtime community volunteer, and author of and podcast host. I don't know if you've all seen his podcast. I love his podcast. If you want to look him up on his podcast, I wouldn't do it justice to tell you how good they are. Huh? He has a sense of humor?
Yeah.
But it's that monotone too. It's fun. That's what attracted me to talk to him, was his podcast. I said, oh my God, we gotta get Berney. We gotta get Berney. His podcasts are amazing. Anyway, and then now with no further ado, Berney. Wow.
Thank you. Give me my hug. We hug each other every time we see each other. I gotta stop buying cheap Chinese microphones. I should know better. Half of them are bugged, but that's okay.
Just use that loud voice of yours.
That's right. Don't let me scare you. Can everybody hear me?
Sure.
Yes.
All right. Well, for those of you that don't know me, I'm Berney Flowers. I'm one of Uncle Sam's wayward sons. You know a little bit about that, don't you, Bob?
Yes, indeed.
There you go. I'm a Republican, and I'm proud of it. 2 years ago, I was running for office, and you guys were nice enough to host me, and we came and got to be friends. We didn't win, but that's okay. I got knocked down, but the thing about me is when I get knocked down, I get up swinging. I hope you guys are the same way, because I need your help. I plan to win this district. I mean it. And I need your help to do so. So, first, Melinda, thank you again for having us, and Bob. And Heritage Harbor for hosting us in this beautiful facility. The last time we were here, we were in a little small room, and we got talking about things that I probably shouldn't have talked about. I think that's why y'all wanted me to come back here to talk about more classified stuff that I need to keep my mouth closed about. I'm not going to do that this time. We got real comfortable. But the bottom line is we didn't win, and that's okay. We sent a message to the establishment that they can't push us around anymore. They can't ignore us anymore. They can't take this district for granted. So with that said, I wasn't a politician then, and I'm not much of a politician now. But I will tell you the truth, and I learned a lot of lessons that I'm going to apply to the campaign. Alex, would you stand up, please? Alex is one of my teammates. He's helping us. Tootie, Bruce, come on. You got to stand up, bro. Mary. All these young folks are here because they support me. And it's not just supporting me, it's supporting us. We can win this thing. I'm telling you right now. You guys know who your congresswoman is? I know you do, but the rest of you.
Sadly.
Last Monday night, Mary and another friend of ours took us over to a bar in Anne Arundel County. Total random. Here I go waltzing in there, overdressed, and there's a bunch of guys my age sitting there drinking beer. having a good old time. And I said to them, do you know who your congressperson is? Now, these are business owners and retirees. They didn't know. They didn't know who was their representative in Congress. They weren't Republicans. They were independents. And they were independents because they lost faith in the Republican Party. We got to change that. We have to protect our children, and we have to protect our grandchildren. I'm up for it, because I've seen some ugly, and I don't want that ugly to come your way, because I saw a lot of things behind the fence. But we'll get deep into that. Are you guys happy with the crime around here? Didn't think so. What about the attack on the families, all these gigantic transvestites walking around in women's clothes? What do you think about that? You cool with that?
No.
I'm not. I feel like I ought to do something about it. What about affordability? You know, your kids aren't going to be able to buy houses like you guys have. We got to do something about this. And it can't just be Mr. Trump alone. He's doing a wonderful job, but after those midterms, he's not going to be there anymore. And what are you going to have after that? The Democrats going back in and taking away all the gains that you've received from the Trump administration? I'm trying to fix that for you. Now, another thing, sitting out the election. Now, a lot of people don't like the Republican Party. They call us a bunch of grumpy old men. Yeah, I'm a grumpy old man. But I can be nice every once in a while. But the issue of the day is that we need to engage. We need to be nice. We need to stop calling each other rhinos. Now, part of that's my fault because I use that R word way too much. And if we're gonna come together as a unit, we've got to stop name calling. Just like Jim said, we got to stop this division and come together because there's not enough of us to go around. And then once we get on the same page, we got to get those independents to vote with us because they've been laying out. They don't trust us. And if they don't trust us, then we can't win. So I'm willing to go out into those churches and I'm willing to go out into those bars and get those grumpy old men on our side. That's what's going to have to be done. But I can't do it alone. I'm not expecting you to go out there with me, but just like Melinda was saying, if you see something that I did on social media, send it to your buddy. One of the best things that I do, and my most fun, is making fun of Wes Moore. Am I wrong? He's a clown and a crook. And the issue of the day is I did a video on him the other day, we got 45,000 views. But the issue of the day is that I need your neighbors to know about those things. If they just want to laugh, let me make fun of Sarah Alfred. Most of you don't even know who she is. So send that to your friend. Tell your buddy about it. You know, if we can make people laugh, we can make them vote for us. Am I wrong?
No.
There you go. So, with that said, our founding principles are under attack. I believe in faith, family, and freedom because I believe in the American way. Nothing has changed. I believe in service before politics. Like I said, 21 years in the United States Air Force. Did what they told me to do, went where they told me to go. And I'm still breathing. I was in Iraq, I was in Afghanistan, I was in the Ukraine before it got bad. I was at the Pentagon when they started dropping planes on us, and I'm still breathing. I don't represent theory. I represent real world practice, and I know how to defend against our enemies, foreign and domestic. Oh, by the way, 13 years I spent at DHS, NSA, and the US Cybercom. I am a plank holder, which means I helped start the place. I did that for a long time, and I would still be there if they didn't try to make me take that jab. I wasn't going to take that. That was the final straw. So I walked away. I was lucky enough to be able to retire again. So now I got nothing but free time to agitate the government. and I mean it. The education system, are you happy with it? They're indoctrinating your children. Are you going to let them do it? If I was your congressperson, I'd take their money away. Get your crap together and stop trying to indoctrinate our children. That's what I mean. Can everybody hear me?
Yes.
I'm loud sometimes. My wife accuses me of being a foghorn sometimes. I really don't need a microphone. But anyway, America is a melting pot. It's supposed to be for all backgrounds. But somehow, people don't seem to understand that. You guys believe in law and order, right?
Yep.
You believe in opportunity. You believe in responsibility. Apparently, those people up in Minnesota don't believe in that, because 79% of them are on government assistance. That means they're taking your hard-earned money and buying Mercedes Benzes and big fancy houses. One of them had a house with a basketball court in it. Now, I don't mind people spending their money on whatever the hell they want to. But when they're spending my money on whatever the hell they want to, now we got us a problem. Again, I'm a husband, I'm a father, and I'm a veteran. And I believe in peace and prosperity and strong families. Apparently, the people in charge around here from our opposite party don't believe in strong families. I got a problem with that. Now again, there are powerful interests that run everything in the United States. Let's be real about this. Trump's fighting those things. Some people like Trump, some people don't. I happen to be a big fan. There are people who profit from chaos, who profit from endless division. And we got to make that change. Some of these politicians, you're going to see some lists that come out and find out that some of them were taking money from foreign entities, from Venezuela. Some of the ones who make most of the noise out there. But anyway, let's talk about culture. You know, if we don't have a common culture, we're going to have chaos. I got a little story for you. So there I was in San Antonio. I'm a brand new lieutenant colonel, and my boss, the Marine 05, Marine 06. By the way, you never look a Marine 06 in the eye. You know better. It's like looking at Dracula. You know something bad's gonna happen. So he calls me in his office. He says, "Flowers?" Oh, shit. I'm sorry. I'm having a flashback. I need an 05 in Afghanistan in 48 hours. And I looked around and thought he was talking to somebody else named Flowers. Nope, it was me. So I said, "Yes, sir." And I went home. Next morning, I did 6 weeks of training and shots and weapons qual in one day. The earth moved for me. And I went home, but when I got my shots, they told me not to hug my wife and not to hug my children. Any of you guys been through that? Because the chemicals they put in my system were toxic. So, yeah. So I'm getting ready to go into a combat zone. Now, this isn't normal. This is like, okay, normally, Alex, correct me if I'm wrong, you take your shots, you get them maybe once every 6 weeks or so, or 6 months. When you're going over there like that, they're giving you some extra special stuff. So I couldn't tell my wife what I was doing or where I was going, but that's common for me. But the issue of the day is that the morning after that, after I got my shots and my quals and my body armor and done all the things I needed to do, in the wee hours of the morning, I went over to the San Antonio airport. And I got on an airplane about 3 in the morning. And after that, I was in Norfolk. I was with a 2-star general, Marine type, and they gave us our mission brief. We were going to stop the war. So 2 hours later, we get on a C-21. Anybody know what that is? It's a business jet that the military flies. It's cool. Only senior people get to fly on those. But anyway, we fly down to Fort Bragg. Everybody know where Fort Bragg is. So I go down there, and that's when it hit me. I'm going into a combat zone with a bunch of people that I don't know. And I was scared. Because usually when military units go overseas, they train together. They're ready to work together. They will save each other. They will do whatever it is necessary to keep that person beside them alive. But I was going as an Air Force hogue, geek, with a bunch of combat Marines. And I just realized that. That is not a good thing. So I'm sitting there, and the C-17 Globemaster is sitting there, and they're fueling it and loading it with all our gear. And then I realized I'm 30 miles from the tobacco fields of home. I'm from North Carolina. And if I walked away from here, I wonder how fast they'd catch me. For the first time in my adult life, I was actually scared. But then I thought about it, and I remembered that I had given an oath. And I also remembered that I was traveling with military professionals. And I was a military professional. So we got our happy butts on that C-17 Globemaster, and we flew over to Afghanistan and did what needed to be done. That is culture. Now, why that's important is because all these wonderful people that have come over here through old Biden, notice I said old Biden, they're not part of our culture. They don't like us, and we don't like them. And as I said before, over 70% of them are on government assistance. They're stealing from us. And you found out from all this stuff going on in Minnesota and California and Maine, and probably right here in Maryland. They don't fit our culture. The people who come to this country should be part of our culture. They should want to be Americans. And if they don't want to be Americans, they should go home. Anybody agree with me? All right. So the bottom line here, they're here to replace you. They're here to replace your vote. Thank God for DJT, because he's making them stand up for what they should be standing up for. But that's culture. That's law and order and responsibility. That's the American way. And a lot of these people don't understand that. And if they don't understand that, they're not going to make good Americans. So again, I am not a politician. I'm not to be bought. I'm not to be bossed. And I won't lie to you. In my last race, or better yet, my last two races, because this is my third time, I spent $100,000 of my own money. Why did I do that? Because I can. Because I care. Because if I don't do it, who will? This country has been very, very, very good to me, and I feel a need to protect it. I took an oath in 1987, and that oath is still valid. My opponent can't say that. Anybody know who she is? Anyway, back to unity. We don't have the luxury of calling each other rhinos anymore. You need to go next door to your neighbor and convince them that we have their best interest at heart. And we need to do it now. Whether you vote for me or not, find a Republican to vote for. Because if we don't, it's not going to be good for us. Because there are people in this world that want to take away what we have. You know that. There's going to be hell and high water trying to get those people out of Minnesota or California. Wait till you see what's done in California. Why do I know all this stuff? As I said before, my last job was as a senior advisor to Secretary Mayorkas. It was driving me crazy on top of the shot, but the idea that I was signing off on $119 million a day of your money, taking it from DOD and giving it to people who didn't pay for it, didn't earn it. We got to stop that. All this free stuff, you would be surprised how much free goodies have been given away of your money. And that is why inflation is so high. That is why affordability is so bad. That's why your children can't afford to buy houses like you were able to do. We got to fix this, and it's on us. So bottom line, as I said before, I'm over at this bar Mary took me to, drugged me over there when I could have been watching Monday Night Football. But I went anyway, and I met some really nice guys. And they were sitting there drinking beer, and we had us a great time. And the thing is, these guys call themselves independents, but they're just as conservative as you are. But they need a flag bearer. They need somebody to lead. And I've been leading all my life. That's what I do. That's what you pay for me to learn to do. And I can make those things happen for them, and I can make those things happen for you as well. But we need to pull together. Now, my potential opponent, do you know that special interests gave her over $5 million in the last election for a congressional seat? Bought and paid for. Do you think she cares about what you think? She's giving your money to the Ukraine to keep war going. And they're over there killing each other. They've lost well over 1 million men over there. Men, civilians, whatever, the bottom line, the Russians are people. But war is the most profitable thing on the planet. And we need to bring it to a stop. Now, everybody can't go rushing into the other country and snatch the criminal that's running the country like Trump did last week. I thought that was pretty cool. But that's another story for another time. The issue of the day is we got to do better. We got to come together. We got to stop calling each other rhinos and get our Republican Party on the same page, because this may be our last opportunity. DJT is doing a wonderful job. Absolutely outstanding. But when the midterms come, he's not going to, he can't run after this term. So what are we going to have after that? If the Democrats win the midterms, we're right back where we started. They're going to be impeaching him and stopping everything he's doing. Hell, they might even send Maduro back to Venezuela. We got to stop that. How do you do that? You put some Republicans into Congress to back up Trump. That's what we're trying to do here. That's what I'm trying to do. Now, how do we do that? I need your help. And I hate asking for money, so I'm not going to. If you feel like donating, that's a wonderful thing. But understand that your opponent has $5 million in her war chest, and she ain't gonna do jack shit for you. Me, on the other hand, I don't want anything but your spare change. If you're going to Starbucks and spending $10 on the Starbucks, kick it over my way. Maybe it will help me protect your children. Maybe it will help back the blue. Maybe hire some more ICE officers. You think we could use that? Speaking of ICE, you guys watch Newsmax? I was on there today at about 2:15. And I'm on there like 2 or 3 times a week. They call me, and I guess they consider me an expert. But I know a lot about how to defend this country, and our opponent doesn't. I call her Silly Sarah. So how can you help? Let's give those Democrats the bitter pill that they deserve. Let's donate, let's volunteer, let's recruit other Republicans and independents. Because if you put the Republicans and the independents together, there's just enough of us to beat the Democrats. But we got to do this together. It's the only way. And I'm going to lead. I'm going to stop calling people bad names. I'm going to stop talking badly about what I used to call rhinos. I'm going to be a good boy. Y'all believe me, don't you?
Yep.
With that said, we're going to need an army. We got to buy signs. We got to buy poles. We got to buy text messaging. We may even buy some radio ads, maybe some TV ads. But the issue of the day is we can win this thing. I ask you to tell your friends. If you see something funny that I did on social media, I'm on Facebook, I'm on X, I'm on YouTube, and you see me picking at West Moore, send it to your buddy. It won't cost you a dime. We got to get the word out. This is how we win. This is the new media. It doesn't have to be on television anymore. We can win with social media. We can win with door knocking. I need your help. We're going to need an army, and I want you guys to feel the burn. Any questions? Come on now.
Give them hell.
Let's do it. Let's do it.
Tell us a little bit more about Westmore.
He's a bald-headed lying fool. I hope you'll look up my social media account. Is that Robin? No. She's also responsible for dragging me out to bars at night. She's on the team as well. But it's all for a good cause. Everybody who stood up here, they're my friends. And if I slow down, one of them will take a pitchfork and stick me in the rear. Yeah, that mean little woman right there. She looks nice, looks all grandmotherly and stuff. I can't slow down. But I can't slow down because of your children and your grandchildren and your great-grandchildren. Because, trust me, there are people who don't want them to live the life that you've lived. They don't want you to be comfortable. They don't want them to be comfortable. They want to take everything for themselves. I just want to make things a little bit more fair. And again, I have seen a lot. I was in NSA for 12 years, seen it all. I was the 4-star representative from North Comms. Mary's giving me the high sign to not talk about classified stuff. I'm not going to talk about classified stuff. I know when to stop. Bruce.
Yes, what is the best way for people to contribute to you? I see a QR thing up there. Could people take a picture and that gets to a link, or?
It takes me right, and that's a great question. It'll take you to my website, and you can go on to Anadot or WinRed and send $10. I'm not asking you to send $500. If you want to, I'll be happy to take it. But the issue today is we got to buy a bunch of signs. Last cycle, Bruce and I blanketed Anne Arundel County with signs. We put so many signs out that Mike Williams, I think he's one of your state representatives. He's a delegate. He calls me over and says, we're not friends, but we just bump into each other. And he says, your sign game is on point. When your opponent says that your sign game's on point, you've done something right. And I give that to Bruce. We got to do that again, though. Now, how did we do it last time? I wrote a bunch of checks, and my wife said, you can go in and run all you want to, but if you mess with our retirement checks and you mess with our retirement fund, we're going to have us a problem. So I can't do that anymore. But I do want to win, and it's not about, I'm fat, dumb, and happy. I'm retired twice. I don't have to do this. But I got a grandchild. I got 2 of them. You got grandchildren. And we owe it to them to make sure that they're okay. That's what this whole thing is about. That's why we're out here at night. Tootie, what you got?
I want to say I thank you for your service. Thank your family for your service. The whole family serves. We greatly appreciate you, and you're still out there. We are blessed to have you.
You know, Tootie is awesome. Her and her husband, Steve, they basically funded my kickoff back over Veterans Day, and I can't thank you enough. You guys are awesome.
Pleasure.
Mary?
I do want everybody to know that although Berney hasn't mentioned it, he is with an organization called Untrafficked, which fights child trafficking in the United States. And he's what is your title, advisor or?
I'm on the advisory board. Bottom line is it's the new slavery. People don't realize that there's trafficking going on right here in Anne Arundel County. Jim's a cop; he could tell you all about it. But I don't want to put him on the spot here. But there's a lot of bad things going on, and we need to root those things out and make things better. And so, yes, I'm part of Untrafficked. I guess you call me a do-gooder or whatever you want to. I just want my grandkids to live okay, and I want your grandkids to live okay, because we were given a wonderful country. This is the best country in the world, by far. Why do I know this? Because 20 million people want to come here and take our stuff. I just want to make sure that I get my fair share and that you get your fair share. And when somebody takes it away, it kind of puts me in a bad mood. So I think I can do something about it after 34 years of government service. I hadn't stolen anything from anybody. But the bottom line is we need to make things fair, honest, and equitable. Sir.
How would it help to quantify some of the issues, such as the amount of trafficking, the amount of illegal immigrants that are here, and the issues that we have, whatever they are, fentanyl deaths, etc. We don't know any of this. And I've been here 16 years in Heritage Harbor, and 90% of the people that I meet are Democrats. Whatever meeting I go to here, except this one, and God knows how many of them are Democrats. But my feeling is no matter what meeting I go to, you can't say a damn thing or everybody's going to turn on you. It's a nightmare. I'm not afraid to say things, but like we have to be able to quantify. We have to put in some milestones and really call the other team out. But we're not doing that. I mean, if you're telling us and we don't know, then certainly the independents don't know. The Democrats don't know because they're getting fed by the regular media. So we have to quantify what's going on, or it's just going to be hidden.
It's funny that you say that, and I thank you for that sentiment. How can we do this? Talk to your neighbor. Talk to your relatives. It's funny, I talk to my sister about politics all the time. She's a 65-year-old retired widowed lady, and it's like we're coming from two different angles. I watch Fox News. I watch Newsmax. Occasionally, I watch CNN just to see what the enemy is doing. She watches Newsmax. I'm sorry, let me take that back. She watches CNN.